My mom offered me to the Lord when I was just a baby, and I grew up, serving the Lord very little, and serving in the youth ministry, kids ministry, you name it. I had a relationship with Jesus, but then, growing up, it was hard for me to find a job in Christian radio, Christian media. Yeah. And then I started working for secular media, right? And I thought, well, I can be the light for them. But that wasn't the case, because it was so dark. And in the beginning, I started kind of good. And they said to me, hey, we're going to be opening this club, tonight. And the director said to me, you don't have to go, because we know you're a believer, you're a Christian. And I said many times no. But then out of curiosity, I went because they were pushing me so hard, And then I liked it, sadly. I met a lot of cute girls there, and then, good friends at that time. I was young and immature. That's why it was very hard for me, because I'm remembering right now, all the scenes, and it makes me a little emotional, really, because actually I lost my first child, because of that craziness.
So 15 in the radio business and surrounded by people who probably don't have the best in mind for you, but more so kind of what to get out of you, perhaps. And that led to a bunch of things. You mentioned drugs and alcohol. Jumping into radio, kind of knew who Jesus was, but not really have that personal connection. What was a time in your life that was like, oh man, I've hit rock bottom with something going on. Where are you, God?
That's a good question, because, the seed was in my heart, right? And then I spent years in media, but the crucial point for me was when I met this girl, and she was a listener of the radio station. And long story short, we met, and then, we started going out, and she got pregnant. And then when she told me I'm pregnant, I'm like, wow, you gotta be kidding me. Because I didn't want to marry her either, And she took certain medication, and that affected the baby, And that's why, my first daughter, it was a daughter. She was born, and she was alive just 28 minutes, and then she passed away, And then I said, man, I'm not affecting just my life, but I'm affecting the life of others, so I need to stop. And then God was telling me, like, hey, I'm giving you so many opportunities. It's time to go back, It's time to come back to me and start a new life.
That's awesome. What was that transition for you of like?
I remember I was at church during the youth service, and when the service was done, we went out, just to smoke. We were smoking outside the church, you know what I mean? And then we went to different parties, and even people from church. And I said, hey, man, we got to change, man. Anyway, so it was kind of funny, but crazy in the beginning. But then I said, no, man, I'm here. I know it's a process, but I need to change, and I don't know how. So, Lord, help me. And through good friends, because I started making really good friends, and through prayer and relationships, I stopped, drinking and smoking, and I quit, drugs and everything, really.
Wow. What was that time frame like? Was it a week turnaround, a year turnaround for you?
As far as I remember, like a year process.
Yeah.
Because the Lord put, this really good friend, his name is Salvador, and man, he didn't let me go. And I'm like, I don't know, what's wrong with this guy, But the Lord just spoke to him, hey, don't let him go, just be close. I showed up a couple times, during this process, drunk, and wasted, and and he knew, but he didn't judge me, you know.
Yeah. Okay, you brought that up. What is that like, a journey? Because we don't go from like low point to, you know, walking with God. You said it took a year, or that journey was a year, but it's not just a linear, straight type of line. Like the more that I walk with Jesus, I realize that it's in step with Jesus, and I feel his love and his presence and his peace, and then I choose my own way, and then it's a cycle and circle and back and loop-de-loops. So what was that journey like in the midst of that process for you?
It was ups and downs, really, because and you know, I felt a lot of regrets too, because being a Latino, you know, because I was born in Honduras and I just came to the United States 2011. We have this mentality of perfection, you know what I mean, and more kind of legalistic type of people. And then when I made a couple mistakes, I felt like God just left, you know. But, you know, the good thing about it was that I learned that, you know, being with the Lord is kind of like riding a bike, you know. You need to keep moving, you know, otherwise you're gonna fall or you're gonna stop. And, you know, with that philosophy in mind, definitely I was able to give myself some grace and keep moving forward, because they told me, even Salvador said to me, man, nobody's perfect. The thing is, you gotta just keep moving forward. You gotta keep coming to church and keep going.
Yeah.